Stagg must have been crawling around on the floor trying to hide from the militia.
Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and welcome back to some more Arkham Knight gameplay. We are searching once again for Simon Stagg. This guy is having a really bad evening. Like, Batman's not having a great evening. This guy is having it even worse. At least he doesn't have the Joker in his head, taunting him every 6 seconds and talking over people. Or people talking over him. Actually, most of the time, when the Joker and somebody else are talking at the same time, the Joker's dialogue gets muffled and talked over and is more interesting, and I want to listen to it. Following the handprints. Not nearly as much of this kind of stuff as I remember from Arkham City. That might just be my imagination, but I remember there being quite a bit of, not handprints, but like, here's some residue or something, and you turn on your detective vision and you have to follow it. I just love going in the grates. Pretending like I'm a Ninja Turtle. Okay, what am I doing? Why do I keep... What am I doing? Oh, okay. I'm seeing someone under the floor and not realizing that I can just open this panel here. There you are.
Please, don't hurt me.
Tell me how to stop the cloudburst. Or so help me, I will hold you responsible for each and every person Scarecrow has killed.
It's surrounded by a nimbus field. It helps spread the toxin, amplify the effects. Any vehicle not using a nimbus cell will be fried.
Then you won't mind if I borrow one.
No, of course not. By all means.
This guy is such a cartoon character.
Get in there.
Go get in there with the Planet of the Apes monkeys. Or next to the Planet of the Apes monkeys. You know, I don't think playing hide and seek with Batman is a great idea. Because he's the world's greatest detective. I want to write that comic book. I want to write the comic where somebody tries to play hide and seek against Batman. And B, he's got all this gadgetry. So he can just follow your DNA or your handprints or whatever.
Alfred, Stagg's given me a way to take on the cloudburst tank.
Given? How kind.
I'm heading back to the back.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
I need to find a way to fit this Nimbus cell to the main power drive.
But sir, Crane's toxin can be absorbed through the suit's fibers. Not even a gas mask could protect you. If you're in there too long, there's no telling what could happen.
Then I need to work fast.
Yeah, I like how with all of his apparatus and knowledge and everything, Batman does not feel too overpowered here. A lot of the time, anyway. I mean, okay, so he's able to take out an entire army with a single tank, but I do like that he's not immune to the fear toxin, and that's been a big motif through these games, trying to take Batman down to his lowest level, and people trying to break him. And so, as I said last time, I really love this notion, whether or not it ultimately works real well. I really love this notion of have these games culminate in Batman finally being terrified. What would most actually terrify Batman? And he gets close to that, I think, in Arkham City, but ultimately manages to...
How did you persuade Poison Ivy to come rallying to the aid of a city she despises? Threat, blackmail, charm.
I mean, he's got to comment on everything.
My toxin strikes at the minds of humans, but it leeches the life from her. Dr. Isley cannot stop me, but how noble you were to make her Gotham's first line of defense.
Scarecrow, don't monologue, just narrate the whole game. Just tell us everything that's happening. Like, be a color commentator. Scarecrow is the John Madden of the Batman universe. And now Batman's grappling. That was a generic color commentary impression. That was not a John Madden impression.
The masks do nothing. They lied to us.
Here's a guy who can't fight crime without getting his city smothered in a toxin. And let's just move on.
Tell me that's not just in my head.
I'm already getting enough complaints from people that my gameplay is slow and hard to watch. The last thing you need is me standing around for 10 minutes trying to figure out a Riddler pressure pad.
The anarchy of terror.
Or how about the terror of anarchy?
Batman.
Let's just
Stop fighting them.
put sentences together. Let's just put words together in whatever random order they come to our minds in.
No turning back now, Bats. It's time to face your fears.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of doing that.
Master Bruce, I hope you're not planning what I think you're planning. It would be reckless and irresponsible, even by your standards.
It's the only option, Alfred.
Alfred knows me so well.
Even if the
I'm
gas
planning
doesn't
to
immediately
not eat a
increase
sandwich.
the tissue, another dose could cause long-term psychological trauma.
I have no choice.
Psychological drama? Man, there's so much psychological drama. Oh, trauma. Oh. That's fun. Wii! Nintendo! Wii!
I need to remove the power core slowly, or the failsafe lock will kick in.
How was that not the way that system was advertised? There should have been commercials with... Especially because it was motion control. There should have been commercials where
Can you feel the rush of that
people are playing a game going,
toxin
"Wee!"
burning through your veins, creeping into that demented mind of ours? I sure can.
there's a lot of pull things out really slowly in this game.
I'm getting stronger, Bruce. I'm more alive with every breath you take.
And no, I'm not going to make the obvious joke because I'm classier than that.
Stay calm. Take deep, slow breaths.
Get him! Oh, look out! He turned into the Joker.
All that effort must be tiring you out. You're getting sleepy, Bats.
Really having just a bad day.
Brock, my Bats. See, I'm getting free. Soon you'll be the one trapped inside me. So keep taking breaths, great lungfuls of fear. Soon Bats will be gone, and I will be here.
The hallucinations were a lot of people's favorite parts of the first game.
Your gray now
And-
is turning green.
There's a certain logic to let's do a whole game kind of about that. That's a lot of my favorite stuff in this, and as I've said before, it's really hard not to overthink it, and some of it's really fascinating and
Sir?
gets in my head real hard. Real provocative.
Give me a moment, Alfred. I'll be fine.
The idea that Batman's greatest
You're
fear
not
is
looking too good, old boy.
that he needs the Joker, or that he...
It won't be long now till I'm behind the wheel. Oh, just think of the fun we'll have then. Brains, brawn, brutality, the full package. We'll have Gotham that on mercy.
I love that line delivery.
And you know what the
That
best
is
part
one
is?
of the most
You'll be
animated
there with
series
me
line deliveries Mark
every
Hamill's
step of
given
the
in these
way,
games, I think.
Watching it all from the passenger seat. I don't know about you, pal, but I can hardly wait.
Yeah, this idea that Batman has
Master Bruce, are you okay?
the Joker in him is the Joker
Thank goodness.
in a
That's
way
relief indeed.
because he
You
wouldn't
should know,
just
sir, that the
end
levels
it
of
and
fear
that was
toxin
maybe
in
a
the
selfish
atmosphere
thing, and
are
so
interfering with the
he is
Batmobile scanners. You may struggle to track the cloudburst.
in a way as
I
twisted.
can't track the cloudburst in this gas. Clear out as much as you can.
I can't, Batman. My plans are too weak.
Then tell me where to find another.
There's a tree buried deep beneath Founders Island. The Miyagani people called her Ayana.
I'll find it.
The plant has a name. Man, even
I'm on Founders Island. Time to
on a
scan
big
for
open
items.
bridge, I can't drive places without property damage.
Tonight,
Okay, I'm calling it right now. Scarecrow has a lot of this dialogue just pre-recorded, and he's just pressing play on a computer.
Keep searching.
Or maybe he has an old-fashioned tape recorder.
Set her free, Batman.
He seems like that kind of guy.
Make Scarecrow pay. No, you're headed away.
Oh, oops. I guess I better go back up. Once again, Batman has no respect for the dead.
Alfred, I've located Ivy's plan to process the remaining toxin, but the sonar can't penetrate deep enough to release it.
One moment, sir. The new extension to the Gotham subway is under construction directly beneath your location. I believe you'll find an access point in Port Adams. Will that suffice?
It's a start. Send me the location.
I realize that this is a video game, but and that we're destroying some of the same things we've destroyed before that just kind of magically show back up again.
Deep. I need to head underground.
But it bothers me that Bruce Wayne, of all people, would run over people's tombstones.
I've reached the container yard, Alfred. I need access.
Of course, sir. I must warn you, scans reveal there's a considerable number of the malicious tanks inside.
Of course they are. Or there are. Maybe, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Sir, they've locked the entrance. It's a trap.
Okay, it's a trap! I have a hard time not just driving... On the other hand, from what I was talking about a minute ago, I have a hard time not just driving around shooting things that are interactive because I'm excited that so much of the landscape is interactive, and also because I played far too many Lego games, and those are about going around and breaking everything to get studs. And so sometimes with this game, especially in the Batmobile where it's really easy to shoot stuff, and sometimes it's just fun to see how it blows up. But then my being goofy and silly and doing that sort of takes me out of the story a little bit. Batman wouldn't do this. Batman is as destructive as the villains.
I'm flanking him.
And that's not part of the ethical conundrum.
You still think you can win? Win what? This is over. Damn it. Rattler's taking damage. Drone's been hit.
I love it when I can shoot off the missiles.
Run on back to your cave, hero.
And now I gotta figure out where the heck I'm supposed to go. It's in there somehow. So how do we get in there? This was a part that took me a long time first time around to figure out what I'm supposed to do.
Target hit.
It turns out I just didn't drive far enough. I thought I was supposed to find some way to get inside there right away. Those things look like giant cans of tuna fish.
I need to find a way to reach the center of the container yard.
I know. I'll just drive up this ramp. Look at that cloud. This part's a little tedious, but I really like the atmosphere of this cloudburst. The cloudburst. Yeah, that'd be a totally different thing. The cloudburst section. The cloudburst would be if the Joker made a big gaseous clown. this big smiley face. Like that Star Trek Next Generation episode where Captain Picard gets a little lightheaded and silly, and he's being exposed too much to not drugs, but time moving slower, and he draws a smiley face in a cloud. Well, actually, not in a cloud, in plasma. It's a really fun Romulan episode called Timescape. Yeah, slow motion means you're done.
The container yard drones. He's wasting his time. There's nothing there.
Nothing we know of.
Once again, you guys know Batman's listening. You're not gonna try any other sort of frequency.
Elevator to get below ground.
All right. Batman's clearly there for a purpose, so you have to know that he's just, well, he's Batman, so he's probably not snickering, but I was going to say you'd have to know that Batman's snickering, going, yeah, there is something here. I'm here for a reason.
I can't believe you're still running errands for that titillating tree hugger. Honestly, Bat, I thought we were making
Yes, alliteration is a
progress
staple for
here.
Batman
Are you
villains.
really gonna let Plant Lady turn this place into her own personal garden? Have you seen what's happening out there? It's a Joker wonderland.
It's a cloudburst.
What do you seek in those tunnels, Batman?
And
Hope. You will
he
find
seeks
none.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I
See,
once
here's Phase
searched
1.
for terror in
So we're gonna go try to find Iron Man, and then Incredible Hulk, and then Iron Man 2. Oh, there's Phase 3. Okay.
You proved me wrong.
So he's gonna go find Civil War already. Oh, jeez. I did not make that look good. And now where do we go? I like the Arkham Knight flags. You know, you have a villain that puts his flags everywhere like that, though. You kind of wish that he stood for a little bit more than kill Batman. This part was pretty tough first time out.
The tank will kill me if I try and get out of the vent. I can blind it temporarily using the remote hacking.
This took me a couple of tries this time around. I think I'll just skip forward and show you my last attempt. Let's hide behind the porta potty. This one requires a lot of trial and error because it's really difficult first time out to know, and I'm sure there's people that have done this in one try because somehow or other people find things, hardcore gamers that play all the time find things like this way more intuitive than I do. But like, you know, first time around, I didn't know that you could go across the wall like that without being seen. It sure looked like you'd get seen. And you don't know where that tank is, and that there is a tank hiding in that little hole there. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do without getting spotted by these tanks, because the last thing I want to do is have to start this over. It starts you over all the way at the beginning of the tunnel. And so you have to drive back through those barricades. And I like doing this just because it's super dramatic looking. Now, these tanks should totally see me doing that. Then again, it's not like there's people sitting in them. So, their field of vision is probably a bit more limited. Oh, and now they know I'm here.
He got a drone. No!
I got the porta potty. Ugh.
Drone's been hit. It's still in a fight.
Will never be occupied again. You're going nowhere.
He's hitting us hard.
And fast. Don't forget fast.
Find you.
So you get that obsession in common with General Zod from Man of Steel then, yeah? I will find him! Once again, I just can't help but blow stuff up. It's so much fun. Coke machines and stuff, it's great. Soda, cola.
How can the world know fear, true dread, when it has you? A stalwart knight, ever ready to slay monsters.
In the DC universe, do people, like with Coke, in our world, just like call things that aren't even soda or colas soders? To be like, I'll have a soda. And there's like some equivalent like Pepsi where it's like, is this okay? Is Pepsi okay? Yeah, I guess that's alright. Ugh!
Oh, you're not still
So
digging
exciting.
around for Ivy's ancient shrubbery, are you? It's over, Bats. Barbara's dead, Gotham's choking on Scarecrow's crazy juice, and your popularity's falling faster than the Flying Graysons on Bring Your Kid to Work Day. There's nothing left of it.
I mean, I don't need all this recap from the Joker right now, but I do really like that Flying Graysons line. That's pretty fun. I mean, I get, you know, mentioning all these horrible things that have happened to kind of emphasize for Batman, because of course the Joker's supposed to be in his head, so it's kind of Batman talking to himself in that twisted guise. You know, is it even worth it? What's the point now? It's just, you add that to so much of a lot of other kind of pointless dialogue.
My toxin choking its streets, blotting
This
out
feels really
the
unnecessarily
moonlight,
talky.
poisoning the saplings you thought could stop me.
But Flying Graysons on Bring Your Kid to Work Day, that's good stuff.
I turn to you.
I'll tell you, the first time I did this, I could not tell that you could actually drive the Batmobile up there, even though we had another one that looks a lot like that, or maybe exactly like that, before. Because there's been other places where you do have to get out of the car and grapple up, and I thought that's what you had to do there. And then I ended up running all the way down to the end of this tunnel, and it's kind of embarrassing, really. And to the and all the way to the end of the subway. And then I realized that you really did need the car, and I figured it was a thing where you had to go on foot and then get, because, you know, it wouldn't be the most, it would probably be the most tedious thing in the game, to be honest with you, but, like, I thought you'd just have to use the Batmobile remote and come back to it, but I was wrong. Anyway, some more ramp pulling. I want to say there is a subway section in every game. Every game but Is there one in Arkham City also? I think there is. Oh yes, no, there definitely is in City. I guess the deal is there's probably not one in Arkham Asylum because you're just in a big building or you know, a few buildings on an island there. But oh, I did that wrong. Oops. Okay, that's also mildly embarrassing, but not as embarrassing as the running all the way on foot thing. Anyway, so yeah, so every game that takes place in the city somewhere, I think has one of these sections, and I always get lost in them. And this time around, I didn't get lost so much as couldn't figure out how to bring my stupid car with me, and felt like an idiot. If only the Riddler was here to make fun of me now.
Master Bruce, my sincerest apologies, but my search for the Arkham Knight's identity has proved fruitless.
Because Alfred's doing all the detective work.
Cannot fully eliminate, but no, I have no likely suspects.
Oh my god, you guys are
Shift
clueless.
focus to former Arkham staff. Hugo Strange had ulterior motives. Quincy Sharp was unstable.
Are you saying
Here's an idea, Batman. Why don't we
Exactly.
Why don't we look for people that know things personally about you? I realize he has every reason to believe that Jason Todd is still dead, but even though Jason Todd would seem impossible to him and might not be on his radar, I just feel like
I can bring her back.
it would be likely to at least cross his mind. I mean, he lives in a really weird world.
You must get closer.
Now, to be fair, Arkham Knight hasn't come out and told Batman that he knows that he's Bruce Wayne yet. But the Barbara Gordon thing really should make him suspicious.
You're too far away.
Because, of course, when the Joker did it, that was about getting to Gordon. There we go. Finally. Another crazy giant plant. Oh, that was a weird glitch.
It's free.
Drawing attention.
You need to protect
I think your
it.
line actually is, "It's alive!"
I can hold on.
Sergeant, there's a weed grown tall in Divinity Churchyard. Cut it down.
Sending drones in now, sir.
It's blooming in the bad way.
Rattler offline.
I can help you crush these tanks, Batman, but you must stay close to the churchyard.
This is what I was talking about earlier, where she's gonna keep talking to me, and I'm like, I've kind of got it. I don't really need you to grab
These
them,
little machines.
but okay. Sometimes having characters just constantly talk to you while you're trying to do something can be kind of distracting.
Twin Rattler hit.
And that's one of the things that can make the gameplay, trying to mix gameplay and storytelling, be kind of awkward.
Lost the Rattler.
Destroy you all.
Especially with hand-fisted lines like that.
Contact with multiple organic defenses. Ivy's still
Keep the
holding.
fight near the churchyard, Batman. That's where I can strike.
The wrong man. Confirmed hit. Damn it, lost one. He's just wasting
I can help you crush these tanks, Batman, but you must stay close to the churchyard.
armor holding.
That's a lot of tanks. And helicopter drones. Ah, I didn't get a shot off on that guy. All right.
She will grow.
You cannot let her harden the
Keep the fight near the churchyard, Batman. That's where I can strike.
Some of his lines. She will grow.
drone taking damage. Mamba down.
When you're reading lines like that, you gotta be thinking, I'm getting paid right now.
Twin Rattler down.
Ooh, 7.
Help you crush these tanks, Batman, but you must stay close to the churchyard.
Scarecrow, Divinity's assault's taking heavy losses.
Don't fret. This tree won't make any difference.
Don't
Ivy
fret.
isn't strong enough to purify Gotham. No one is.
Target strike.
Keep the fight near the churchyard, Batman. That's where I can strike.
Mamba's been hit. Enemy flanked.
The first time I heard that, I thought that those tanks were called mama tanks.
I can help you crush
You got
these
the mama
tanks, Batman,
tank,
but you must stay close
and
to
the daddy
churchyard.
tank, and the baby tank.
Keep the fight near the churchyard, Batman. That's where I can strike.
Lost the Mamba drone.
And then rattlers, and I realized it was about snakes.
Batman took out the Da Vinci Code.
Batman took out the Da Vinci Code. He is the world's greatest detective. Tom Hanks has got nothing on Batman. Yeah, there's more where that came from. We have
Stop.
lots of money from
Hero, stop thinking you
all
can
those
save
villains.
anything. Oh, you found another tree. Well, I've still got the cloudburst. You want to finish this? Come to Bleak Island. Then it'll be over.
Arkham Knight is such a little kid.
Batman, I've cleared as much of the toxin as I can. You must find the cloudburst. It's killing my plants.
I'll destroy it. Just hang on.
When we finally discover who he is, which should be obvious to everyone at this point, that could be on purpose. I wish we did more with his childishness in exploring that. But he is really whiny.
Alfred, raise the bridges. He's not getting off Bleak Island.
Are you sure, sir?
Get the Batwing to scan the cloudburst. Find a weakness. I'll take out the Cobra tanks on guard.
Sir, you're entrapping yourself with an enemy that has you severely outgunned.
No, I'm trapping him.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. But no, I mean, Arkham Knight, when you start talking like that, it's obvious that you're getting desperate. And that you're starting to think that he's actually got a chance. I love running over stuff. So I gotta take out a whole bunch more of these tanks. Some of this lighting makes my eyes water a little bit. It's Chinatown on Fear Gas.
We've lost the Cobra. Maintaining search path.
It's kind of fun to go after the Cobra tanks in this area on the Fear Toxin, because I think, if memory serves, we've dealt with these here before, but I forget.
Clearing Scarecrow's toxin.
Alpha target spotted. Chinatown.
Oh god. Uh-oh. Those are pretty easy to outrun as long as you've got corners you can get around. They take a while before they start shooting. I also like that there's these tunnels that you can use to get around them. Those crates remind me of action figure commercials when I was a kid. You'd always have a bunch of boxes stacked on top of each other in a really elaborate looking like alleyway set or something, and the action figures were always shooting their projectiles at those boxes. And as a kid, I was always jealous that they didn't, you couldn't actually get that. Like, it looked like so much more fun in the commercials than you could possibly make it look like at your own house. Running over the Jokers is fun. There's got to be a lot of things that Batman does with Jokers that are kind of cathartic. The thing you have to keep in mind, though, is that so often the Jokers that Batman is hallucinating are actually real people, and he gets really lucky in a couple places that he doesn't actually kill or severely injure an actual person with the way he deals with stuff. He, in at least one place, if not two, he, in a hallucination, fires a gun, and he's really lucky that he didn't actually kill anyone. This is about the Joker trying to force him to become a killer, and he kind of just gets lucky that he ends up not being a killer. It has that Spider-Man 3 problem a little bit. Except that in that was a little bit worse because it's a real person. I mean, he's being his mind is affected by the Venom symbiote, but it's a person actually trying to really kill another person and not hallucinating. But if the idea is, you know, Batman facing his worst fears, and one of them is that he would actually kill, I guess I can see him actually going that far on accident in a hallucination. But again, he just gets lucky that it doesn't actually happen. And then, you know, how would it change him? How would it affect him if he actually killed a person? I'm not saying that the game should have necessarily gone there, but it just seems a little bit too easy. But some of it's about how exactly the toxin works too, where it's like, when your worst fear is you actually doing something and you play that out in your mind, then you might not have any control over it. And then it's a matter of Batman learning that if it's not really his fault and he had no control over something, you know, understanding his limitations and his mortality.
Is almost gone, Knight. Protect the cloudburst. Withdraw.
Then it doesn't count. He can't start thinking that he is, you know, something that he's always tried not to become. Where's just this technicality of, oh, okay, I've killed, so now I have to become this, you know, scary monster. Or it means that I was a scary monster all the time, or whatever. So once again, the Arkham Knight is getting really impatient.
Batman spotted at the clock tower.
And that continues to make me question why he feels the need to have such an elaborate scheme. When we finally get to his motivations at the end, I would have completely bought the Arkham Knight having,
You, Batman.
you know, wanting Batman to experience his greatest fears and
What do you think you're doing?
be with Scarecrow on that.
This is not the plan we agreed upon.
It's a plan that works. Scarecrow can choke on his toxin, Batman. He wants you to suffer. I just want you dead.
There it is. It's a really important line. He just wants him dead. And if that's the case, I mean, has that been true all along, I guess is the question? Or is he just, you know...
So the cloudburst has been mounted onto the Arkham Knight's personal tank. Both are too well armored for a direct assault.
Kind of done with the game at this point.
Its power source is internal, but the device has been modified with a coolant system to avoid overheating.
That's the weak point. A rupture will set off a chain reaction, destroy the cloudburst, and could take out the tank as well.
I'm reconfiguring your scanner to locate the vehicle's coolant lines. Good luck, sir.
Because ultimately, with as much as the Arkham Knight knows about Batman, it seems to me like if you just wanted to kill him, it wouldn't be this hard. So then the only reason you would go to these lengths and get every villain,
the scanner to be effective,
you know, involved financially and
the coolant lines run
do this kind of poetic justice thing
I should be able to rupture them with a shell from the
would be because you want to torture him psychologically.
One strike won't be enough, and I can't stay near that gun. Attack and fall back is my only option.
This bit is pretty challenging. There are a number of different steps to taking down the Arkham Knight's big boss drone. And really, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of the closest thing to a boss there is in this game. Some people have complained that there aren't boss fights, like hand-to-hand combat stuff. There are a few places where you'll have a character that is harder to beat than somebody else that feels sort of like a mini-boss, kind of like the big Joker guy in the Cowboy set from last time, but nothing like, you know, the bosses in Arkham Asylum. And I don't mind that. I'm not a big boss fight guy, but, you know, big gamers, I get why they kind of complain about that. I feel like it's a little bit less forced without that, where, you know, a little bit less formulaic. It feels more like a video game built around an organic story, even though, again, ultimately, I'm not loving where the story goes, but, and it's got a lot of execution problems, but it still doesn't feel like a formulaic video game story so much because it's not tied to some of those tropes and expectations. It's not a, you know, level by level thing. You get to the end, you gotta have a boss. The things in this that feel like they have that are kind of mostly, maybe all of them, Arkham Knight with a big tank thing, a big vehicle. There's another one a little bit later that we'll get to, a big giant troll thing that also feels a lot like a boss. And I did not handle that like a boss. There were 4 missiles in the air when I exploded. But I'll get him this time. Yeah, I'm really surprised by just how close the new Batmobile from Batman vs. Superman looks to that one, just the more I look at it. I got a model of it recently that I'll probably do a video on. A really cool snap-together model. I haven't put it together yet, but it looks awesome. Not of that car, of the Batman vs. Superman car.
The explosion disabled the main cannon. Now I can get close and concentrate fire on the cloudburst.
I really wanted to collect Arkham City everything when that game came out because I just adored it so much. And very quickly, the action figures got really expensive. I don't know if they just didn't make enough of them or what, but there were certain ones that if you didn't get them right out the gate, they were not easy to get. And I've not gotten into the action figures for that. I'm not a huge figure collector, but I really wanted to collect, like, Arkham City everything. There were a whole lot more pieces of merchandise for that than I ever would have imagined. Such a mega release, and there was a lot of stuff for this as well. Figures and statues and swag and, you know, all kinds of things. One of the things that kind of screwed me up on you know, trying to take out the cloudburst here is not being confident enough to just keep driving backward and not worry about what was behind me, which you ultimately kind of have to do. But you can get back to the corner if you're not careful. And I was, I think, overly concerned about that. So finally here I just said, ah, screw it, I'll just drive backward and hope for the best. And that's what I did. It's not ultimately as difficult as I made it out to be in the first place, which is true of a lot of things in this game. I love that sign just says end. That's fun. Not that it's speaking to anything happening in the story right now, because this could have happened really anywhere in this area where we're at, but it's kind of fun that it lined up that way. Because this looks like it might be the end of the Arkham Knight. But, of course, we're going to contrive some way to stretch this out. So that Batman still hasn't taken care of him. And that does sometimes feel like a video game thing of we're just trying to stretch it to be as long of a game as possible. So now punching him in the face becomes a quick time event. Uh-oh. Although I will say this one's not as bad as some other places where we're stretching it out because Batman is screwing up because of the fear toxin, and so Arkham Knight is easily able to get away. Okay, this one I'm totally cool with.
Sir, the Arkham Knight. Did you subdue him?
He's gone.
Anybody else want to see
Don't sound entirely sure, sir.
Alfred turn into the Joker in one of these?
The cloudburst. Purify the remaining toxin as fast as you can.
Ivy.
I fear you may be too late, sir. Scans reveal the toxin is overwhelming Ivy's plants.
I'm heading to her now.
Does Alfred never take a bathroom break? Yeah, I can totally see the time Batman really needs to talk to him, and he's like, we've been at this for 12 hours. I really needed to go to the bathroom.
The Batmobile is trapped beneath the fear toxin.
You're able to stop anytime you want to at one of these porta potties, but I've got to just sit at this desk and never leave.
She's paying the price for opposing me right now.
This stuff's intoxicating. More.
It's really fun to kind of see the Joker get everything he's ever wanted when he's dead. So this is a bit of a slog here. I mean, we've put this together now where you can get across the city way faster than you were able to in City, but still, you're like, oh my god, I'm 1,200 feet away, or feet, 1,200, whatever we're calculating there. Notches of distance. Hey, I'm curious to know, now that because we've got a little bit of time here, anybody else that's posting gameplay of Arkham Knight, has anybody else gotten copyright flags on music? It was a number of videos before I finally got one, and the sound balance was off in that video. I made the mistake of not checking it before I exported it, and it turned out that the music was overpowering the vocals a little bit, and I've had that happen in a couple other places where I think that if I don't know if I'm right about that, because I don't know how the bots work, but where I thought, well, maybe if just my balance was right, it wouldn't have picked up on it. And I'm just curious to know if anybody else has had that, because I disputed it and I lost it, and I was just curious about it. It's not a big deal for one. I'm just hoping that I can manage to not keep having that issue. Anyway, and we got to go back to Ivy, and this is going to play as really sad and tragic. Poison Ivy's gonna have a line here that is like a big kind of moral of the story moment. There it is. Nature always wins. Which we're just not exploring enough and doing enough with to really earn that. I mean, that's just a giant donut shop. Dang good, enormous donuts.
Sir, the gas cloud is dissipating. You did it. You and Poison Ivy, I mean. We underestimated the humanity that remains within her.
She's gone, Alfred. Clearing the toxin took everything she had.
Oh, I see. Her final act was a noble one.
Yeah, we're laying that on a little thick, I think.
Anyone else dies. Do you have any leads?
Nothing concrete, sir. But the GCPD comms from might. They're currently puzzled by an encrypted transmission sent on a SWAT channel from within the city. Most odd, given there are no SWAT officers currently in the field. Then, of course, there are the numerous unsolved cases that still require your attention. With the toxin clear, now would be the perfect time to reassert your control of the city.
That's a really interesting line, by the way. Batman controlling the city. Again, the idea that Gotham revolves around him.
Is still trapped in the orphanage.
And how much of what he does is about him trying to save people and make sure that, you know, wipe out corruption, make sure that the people that really are entitled to freedom should have it. You know, the people that follow the rules and don't kill people and don't hurt people and manipulate them, and you know all of that, and how much of it is he.
The myth of Batman dies, and Gotham dies with it.
He's trying to make the world what he wants it to be, and enforce it to be what he wants it to be, control it. Either he has to be in control, or someone else will. But the Poison Ivy thing is a good idea, I think. But I'm not sure in execution that it's really all that compelling. This is a neat puzzle.
Welcome back to the Riddletorium. Do not fear. Your friend has not been...
Once again, I decided to go ahead and knock out some more of these riddle puzzles because they're kind of fun.
Riddle me this. What kind of question can only be asked upon reflection? Good luck. Good luck.
This isn't a real tough one to figure out, but I like it. It's kind of clever. But yeah, I don't know about Alfred's line about Poison Ivy proving her humanity, because how much of that was for people? I mean, you know, she sacrificed herself for nature, I guess. But there's not really anything about her coming to appreciate people more.
Well, it seems you have earned the right to see your friend. Why, she'll be as surprised as I am that you've made it this far.
See, that's a neat one. I like
You're back.
the reflection on the floor and that light creating the dot for the question mark.
I'll get you out of here.
I'm sorry, do I seem testy? It's probably something to do with the gorgeous necklace Eddie picked out for me. Have you seen
I'll get
it?
you out of here
It
after
explodes.
8 more games.
Oh, I do hope you two are getting along. Because you'll need to work together if you want to find the key hidden in here. Find the key.
This one's kind of neat too. I overthought it
Wow,
at first,
this looks creepy.
and then after a while it really came together.
Serial killers.
So what you have to do here is each of you is in a different cage, and you have the numbers for the other side, and so you have to memorize that and then flip back and forth.
Oh, great. Extra trapped. As if the collar wasn't enough.
Oh, Batman, Catwoman, neither of you is getting out of there without the other's help.
Plus it's itchy and chafes and stuff.
Oh, look. It's more of Eddie's homemade friend.
Your mockery is pointless, Cat. I don't have any friends at all.
Kind of like that line, especially in this game where we're questioning whether Batman looks at his allies as people or as means to an end. And of course, he does look at them as people in the sense that he feels really bad about what he feels like maybe he's done to them. But then in his methodology, he kind of forces himself to use them. And so he has that. It's a thing that he theoretically maybe has in common with the Riddler, but of course, the Riddler really does see himself as above everyone else and doesn't care about people. He cares about impressing people. When I said I overthought this, I thought the idea was that the back and forth the sequence would be one side has the number that you have to do for the next side, and then that gives you a number, and then you go back and put that number in on the other side, and it's actually much simpler than that. The whole sequence is for the other side. So you just memorize that sequence, and then you go to Catwoman's side, you put that in, and then you go to Batman's side, and you put in hers. And it just took me a couple minutes to figure that out. It's a good puzzle. And that's where I always get tripped up, is when the puzzle is a lot simpler than it looks. I think the fact that one will stick on both sides is what tripped me up. That you actually could do it back and forth like that if you wanted to. So again, did he have the time to rig all this stuff up? There we go. Now I figured it out.
Well, there we go. It's settled.
Oh,
You're not
he
quite
said
as
there we go
dumb as
also.
each other. Congratulations, Batman. Catwoman, you're lagging behind.
Now I've memorized that, and I'll just put in hers. The whip's fun.
Oh, Dark Knight.
Anybody up for a Rocksteady Catwoman game? I could get on board with that.
Over the simplest of conundrums. I do apologize for not creating a riddle that you can
Maybe a Bat Family game where there's several characters and each of them has a character arc throughout it. You jump back and forth, but it's an ensemble cast. And that would be the time to finally try to find a way to build in co-op to this.
Well then, it seems you've earned another key.
This is going to take all night, isn't it?
Kind of feels like it already has, especially when I'm playing. And we know the drill here. Gotta get another key. I guess this time we didn't have to find the right box.
At least I got to hit something.
How are you holding up?
I'm fine. I don't need your concern. Just your help getting this thing off.
Well, we're working on it. Folks, that's going to be it for me for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again with more Arkham Knight gameplay real soon.